fake MLK-style acting politician wants to bring slew of anti-gun bills to the great state of Tennessee. Welcome to another installment of the Connecticut Gun Bench. Today's video is brought to you by P.A.N. Firearms, LLC, P.A.N. Firearms, your NRA certification, and multifaceted gun training. You can reach us at 203-300-6343 or use our website at www.panfirearmsllc.com. As always, there'll be a link in the description box below. And if you like my channel, like my content, you can support me with the link in the description box. Everything is appreciated. But let's talk about this. Now, as you know, I believe it was March 28th, there was a shooting at a Christian-based elementary school. And the shooter, by all accounts, was a transgender. Now, what is happening and what has transpired since that shooting is there's a number of things that are happening that quite honestly shows an hypocrisy to the attention that shootings get. If you remember, I did a video on when the shooter is of a leftist ideology, the reaction to it is completely different and the way it's reported. Now, they have not, since March 28th, they have not released the manifesto of the shooter from that event. We haven't seen it. Remember, Buffalo, New York, it was out in 24 hours. We have not seen that manifesto at all. Kamala Harris went down to Tennessee not to meet with the victims and the families and survivors. No, she went down there to support what has now been coined as the Tennessee Three, the three Tennessee lawmakers who staged an insurrection on the Tennessee House floor. Two of them were removed from their positions. They cried racism, and then they were reinstated. Joe Biden has not been to Tennessee. He has not met with the survivors or victims, but he invited those same three politicians to come to the White House to talk about gun control. Like I said, when it's a leftist ideology is the person who is the perpetrator, the reporting is completely different. But one of these people, Scott Pearson, who is the 86th representative for the 86th district down there in Tennessee, he has come up with a slew of anti-gun bills. Now, I called him a fake MLK. Why did I do that? Well, I'm going to show you. This is a clip of him running for an office while he was in college, and he sounds like a moderate.
Hey everybody, I'm Justin J. Pearson, and I'm running for president of BSG. There are a few reasons that we're running this campaign this year. One has to do with representation. How can we represent all voices in a conversation? I wanted to do this by partnering with organizations from the Boone Democrats to the Boone Republicans. I want to bring together different voices, dissenting voices, voices that may be more liberal or more conservative, in order that we can reach a point of sort of the radical middle, where conversation and dialogue happens and growth happens. Right now, we have tensions on our campus that can only be resolved by understanding one another. And creating those forums and those spaces will be a part of the legacy I hope to lead as the BSG president.
This is a clip of him after his insurrection with his two colleagues. Now listen to completely how different he sounds.
All you who still believe that the best days for democracy are ahead. For all of you who still believe that our better days in Tennessee are ahead, I want to tell you that I still believe with you. And how is it that even now amidst persecution, on this Holy Week, after my own brother Justin Jones, Representative Jones, gets expelled from the House, is it that we still have hope and faith and belief in the democracy of Tennessee, faith and hope in the belief in the democracy of the United States of America? How is it that you still have hope, you descendant of enslaved people? How is it that you still have hope? Well, it's because even from the bottom of slave ships, my people didn't quit. Even in cotton fields and rice fields, my people didn't quit. Even when they were whipped and chained and told they had no name, my people didn't quit. Even when they incarcerated us, locked us up for a crack cocaine epidemic created by President Ronald Reagan to fund a war in South America. My people didn't quit, even when they defunded our schools, separated us and called us colored and white, even when they put us on lynching trees in the state of Tennessee, specifically in Shelby County. My people didn't quit. Even now, as our own brothers and sisters lay to rest because of the failure of people in positions of power to do something.
Like I said, fake MLK. There's going to be a reckoning. Give me a break, dude. Give me a break. Okay? He's been called out on it, but he has now proposed a slew of anti-gun bills to be presented in the 130th General Assembly. And I just want to briefly go over them. Tennesseans, you need to just bury this guy, because and I'm see now somebody's going to go, oh, that's violent. No, you know what I mean. Legislatively, you need to just step up and voice your opinion, because this stuff is nonsense. But I want to go over each, like the bills, very briefly, because I want you to see what they're trying to do, or what he is trying to present to the state legislature. I'm sure that this comes with Biden's blessing, seeing that he met him at the White House. None of the victims went to the White House. None of the survivors went to the White House. None of the families went to the White House from Tennessee, from this Christian school. But these three fools went to the White House. Just shows you how things are. But I'm going to come into here, and this is directly from the Tennessee General Assembly page. And you got HB 1583, as introduced, requires an individual who resides in the state and owns a firearm to maintain liability insurance in an amount of no less than $300,000 to insure the individual against losses or damages resulting from the accidental use of individuals' firearms. Requires the individual to provide documentation of insurance upon request by a party that suffered losses or damages resulting from the accidental use of the individual's firearm. Specifies that a violation of the insurance requirement is a Class C misdemeanor, punishable only by a fine of not more than $300. Now, this insurance doesn't exist, okay? But you know the insurance companies are greedy bastards, and I'm sure they'll make one up. As introduced, prohibits the manufacture of semi-automatic rifles in the state. Specifies that a violation of this prohibition is a Class A misdemeanor. And just realize that Colt just moved down there, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, Smith & Wesson or Colt just moved their rifle factory to Tennessee. HB 1588, as introduced, prohibits the storage of a firearm or firearm ammunition in a motor vehicle unless the firearm or ammunition is not plainly observable and either the owner is present in the vehicle or the firearm or ammunition is inside the locked compartment. Authorizes a civil penalty of up to $500 per violation. HB 1589, as introduced, prohibits the manufacture, transfer, or purchase in the state of detachable firearm ammunition magazine that is capable of storing or feeding more than 10 rounds of ammunition. A violation is subject to a civil penalty of up to $5,000, subject to criminal forfeiture. Any magazines manufactured, transferred, or purchased in violation of this bill grandfathers possession of magazines lawfully obtained prior to July 1st, 2023. HB 1591. As introduced, creates an offense to store or keep a firearm in any place unless the firearm is secured in a locked container, unloaded, and separate from ammunition so as to render the firearm inoperable by any person other than the owner or another lawfully authorized user, except when the firearm is carried by or under the control of the owner or other lawfully authorized user. Exempts a juvenile who is knowingly in a mental health crisis to use as a defense to prosecution for illegally possessing a handgun. HB 1592, as introduced, requires the owner of a firearm to report loss or theft of firearm to law enforcement within 24 hours of discovery of the loss or theft. A violation is punishable only by a civil penalty up to $500. HB 1593, as introduced, requires, subject to certain exemptions, that a sale or transfer of a firearm be done through a federally licensed gun dealer. That means person-to-person transfers will be eliminated. Creates a Class B misdemeanor offense for sales or transfers that are not conducted through a gun dealer. Changes the time frame for clerks of court to report certain mental health adjudications from no later than 3 business days to within 72 hours. Changes the time frame of clerks of the court to report a final disposition of a criminal proceedings to Texas Bureau of Investigation for not later than 30 days to within 72 hours. HB 1594, as introduced, allows a court to issue an extreme risk protection order upon finding by clear and convincing evidence that a person poses a significant danger of causing personal injury to the person or others if allowed to possess or purchase a firearm, authorizes law enforcement, relative, or school administration to petition for the extreme risk protection order. Do you not see the danger in that right away? Yeah, anybody who feels, a school administrator talks to a child and says, oh yeah, my parents have guns at home. Oh, let me petition the court for an extreme risk protection order. No, this is dangerous. Requires training for law enforcement officers on how to petition for an extreme risk protection order. Requires the Department of Safety to develop a public awareness campaign to educate the public about extreme risk protection orders. And 1596, as introduced, prohibits a gun dealer from delivering a firearm to a purchaser within 15 business days after completion of certain requirements. So there it is. That's what this Pearson fake MLK wants to bring to the state of Tennessee. Now, Tennessee has a Republican majority, hopefully a conservative Republican majority, but this governor has already expressed, a willingness to do gun control based on what happened and, in Nashville at the Christian school, none of which would have prevented it anyway. But you got to remember that the shooter from Nashville actually told another person in general that what was about to go down, and that person really didn't make too many moves to basically notify authorities. So that person should be coming under criminal scrutiny. But Tennesseans, this is all nonsense. I'm hoping, like I said, there's a conservative Republican base there that will prevent any of this from going forward. I am for safety, but you do not get safety by passing laws that only law-abiding people will follow. You're not going to get safety out of that. You tell them to put armed guards at school, and then you got the Democrats all voting against it. So don't tell me that you're trying to basically make things better and more safe for the general public, because you're not trying. You're just making laws that don't do a damn thing. But Tennesseans, step up. Let's take care of this and kibosh this stupidity. But let me know what you think. As always, you can leave your comments in the comment section below. And as always, any statements of violence or statements that lead to violence will be removed. Please like, share, comment, subscribe. Don't forget to hit that notification bell so you're notified the next time a video goes live. I will see you on the next one. Peace.